Heyo. We're back. The boys are
So
cramming. They're cramming the
Cramming.
deep chocolate episode.
Watching Nick and his exfoliation routine.
Yeah.
I'm
he had
getting
a-
tips here.
Is that when you're like, yeah? That's actually the inciting
This is
incident.
so
for-
funny.
It's really funny.
That's actually the most, I think, I don't know, that's the most they gave me in a while, I think, on that show. Like,
Are we
a
sure?
little sex it up, I'm steamy
Oh, you mean,
and sweaty. Yeah,
mhm.
it felt very, like, risky business.
Oh,
You know,
risky business.
Yeah, very risky
I
business.
break
I got
a
to
lot.
play.
I break a lot. I think I break many a time. I notice
You
myself.
break in that episode?
I do. I break in
Or
that
that
scene
scene?
that we're together.
You couldn't
so
handle how good looking I looked, all
I think it was just
sweaty and
really
steamy?
awkward. I think it was just like, and you're like a
God.
kid, and you're just like, this is weird. I'm gonna laugh about it.
My brother's, ooh, never mind.
Guys, welcome back to Even More Stevens podcast, where shit gets weird. But we love it, and the podcast is singling out the deep chocolate episode. Yes,
Chocolat.
Yeah.
Brr.
Just the name is provocative.
we have a lot of provocative titles.
We
Yeah,
did.
we do.
Tight end and traction.
And
That's
Deep
right. We
chocolate.
did deep chocolate.
Secret World of Girls.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yep,
Was it
definitely.
Sausage of the Lost Ark? No. What was that one?
Yeah, well, that
Was it
yeah,
Sausage?
Raiders of
Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Sausage.
Lost Sausage, yeah.
There you go.
We
That's
just
what
have
it was.
funny, wacky names.
Yeah.
Definitely some golden ones for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's what's funny to me about this episode is the whole like chocolate sales
Ugh.
scheme that I think most
Hilarious.
most kids have gone through. At
Oh,
some
yeah.
point in
So
their life.
relatable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like whether it's like Girl Scout cookies or something that you have to do even as the parent.
Yeah.
I think the parent, now I'm looking at this episode as a parent being like, oh yeah, I'm going to have to get into that.
Yeah.
Because how many people have come to you and been like,
Those fundraisers.
your sisters probably have come to you and been like, oh, you know, my kid's doing this thing. Do you mind like buying?
Oh
like,
yeah. I mean, but now the things they sell you are way more expensive. Like it's not just dollar chocolate bars. No,
Yeah.
you're dropping $50 to $100 for some fundraiser. I'm like, what am I?
And your kids are lucky as hell. They got their mom as Kim Possible to help them sell chocolate.
I mean, shit, I can do
I mean,
anything.
shit. Just go out there in a Kim Possible uniform,
There you go.
ring on that door.
Well,
I'd buy some chocolate.
Thank you.
crushed that game. I crushed that game when I was in school.
Wait, really? You
Oh, yeah.
sold,
Oh, yeah.
what'd you sell?
Oliver, you stink. I can smell your
the
ass
dog
from over
is
there.
here today, Sir
Yeah.
Oliver.
Woo.
Yeah,
Oliver
Oliver's
and
hanging out
company.
with us again. He has bad digestion. Yeah, that was honestly when I think back on my early days and like what has drawn me towards like the entrepreneur life and the business life. Those were the first days that I remember as like some of those formative moments. No doubt.
And that's what they're meant to do, interestingly enough, because when you go to school, they don't teach you anything about life.
Yeah.
School is literally just meant to like create people to work in like
Factory.
Yeah,
factories
yeah.
and yeah.
The two that I remember was, I think it was, I forget the name of the chocolate company, but like the world's greatest chocolate company or something like
Oh,
that.
I
Seas.
remember
Yeah.
that. And like Seas.
Seas
and
candies,
Well, we
yeah.
never did
candies.
C's. It was like world's
Oh.
greatest chocolate company.
Oh,
something
you had
like
the
that.
ghetto chocolate. See, we
Oh,
had
yeah.
we had the good shit. At
Yeah,
our school.
and I would go and I would stand in front of Ralph's, not far from my school, and my goal was always to outsell everybody. And I don't know why I was so determined to do it, but I just was. And I would sell box after box after
You were like a
box.
natural salesman.
I was into it. And then one time I had been there for hours and I had made a bunch of money, but I had to go to the bathroom. And I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. It was clearly a stupid idea. But I don't know why that was a good idea.
I feel like I already know what happened. Oh, no.
I took the money and I stuck it in a box of chocolates. And I hid the box behind like this, those water machines that like the
Yeah, the vending
Yeah.
machines.
the vending machine. I hid the boxes behind that water vending machine.
Because you were just gonna go inside.
I was going to go
Ralph's
inside
or
and go to the
whatever.
bathroom. I don't know why I
Yeah.
didn't bring the stuff with me.
Ugh.
And I came out and it was all gone.
No,
Yeah.
no. What?
And
I
so-
hope that person got awful karma.
But it's funny
Oh.
because in this episode, Lewis has to, the guy's threatening Lewis to
sue him,
cough
yeah.
up the money for all the chocolate
Yeah,
that
towards
got
the end,
melted
yeah.
at the end.
But in the beginning, dude, we meet this guy. I don't even remember his name, but he's like a Tony Robbins. He's got like a white suit. He's got a headset.
Super sleazy.
So sleazy, but like aspirational.
Yeah.
For the kids to like get up and sell.
Yeah.
When it's really just like he's sleazy. He wants the money from the kids.
It's child labor.
Totally. But it's really funny. I had to laugh. Like I actually was watching it on the way over here and I was laughing out loud. I'd say that was one of the first times that I started to laugh out loud with the show. Because when we went big, we did it really good on Even Stevens. We like nailed it every single time.
What was the chocolate made out of? It wasn't real.
You know what? That's a good question.
It wasn't real chocolate, was it?
Well, interestingly enough, the props department and production design team would generally try to make things. So like the chili that we had in that one chili episode, Scrub Day, that was sort of based in chili, unfortunately, but like it did have to have a certain amount of that chili to make the texture look right, right?
Right.
Well, I think I remember that this had a similar consistency to what they ended up using on me in our movie. Because like we had that Sunday thing that ended up all over my face and everything in the movie. Mm. And it was similar to that like fake chocolate where they thin out the base of like syrup, chocolate syrup. And I honestly, I can't tell you. We've got to try to dig into like our team of people we still know from the show. But that was a lot of chocolate.
Yeah, that was a lot of chocolate. Well, I know that had to make a mess, and then the cleanup had to take.
That's the thing that I would think about is whoever's home that was. We definitely had to come in and do some professional cleaning after that. I'll tell you what, production companies when they come and film your property,
screw up a place,
they jack your place.
Absolutely not. Yeah, Austin, like is. I'm actually so grateful. There's no film production in Austin, Texas, where I live. Yeah,
nothing.
Not really.
Really,
we have Walking Dead and we have Texas. Walker Ranger or something like that. And we've got like 2 shows and that's it. And they're like never around. And I think they shoot in ranches and like, you know, larger spaces and smaller towns and whatnot. Honestly, like somebody told me, oh, well, wouldn't it be great if Austin had more production? I'm like, no, it wouldn't. The film productions suck. They ruin everyone's homes. Yeah. They lock up the streets. Like they're just a huge nuisance.
Well, hey, I'll tell you what. I love that there's that little revenue stream here in LA.
Yeah, I know, right?
They film at my property.
Oh, do they?
Oh yeah. I take advantage of that as much as I can. Yeah.
Okay, good.
But it's also not like, you know, you live in a single family house and you're in a neighborhood with other people. I'm in like a little commercial district with my crazy place, so it's a little easier. It's a little easier to pull it off.
Plus, out here in LA, we're so used to that. You know, out here it's like, oh god, we got a production company blocking up the road.
That's how LA got though. Yeah. LA, a lot of the reason why productions were leaving LA and going to places like Canada or Atlanta is because
the taxes.
Well, taxes, but also because people were like the cost to film on location is so much higher here because no one wants you there. It's a
competitive market too.
And so they
can price you
up. You have to pay all the neighbors.
Yeah.
You have to pay everybody just to get everyone to chill out and not you know make a problem for you.
Hush money. We got to pay the neighbors hush money.
I actually have a funny story about that too. But the one other thing I wanted to say was the other grade school like sales thing that I did was a pizza drive.
Okay.
And this one was done differently. Like the chocolate bar one, I can't recall if you won anything or like if you earned any money. But the way this one was set up was like for every 10 pizzas you sold, you got a chance to win a prize.
You got an entry.
Yeah, exactly. So the way it worked out was at the end of the drive, there's this big board with numbers on it. And for every 10 you sold, you got a number. And then they would reveal something behind this board, right? I went home that day after school and I grabbed the school phone book and I went from A to Z and I called every family before other kids even got home. And I sold pizzas to parents of kids.
No, like that happens in the movie.
That were coming home.
Or that happens in the show.
Does it? Yeah.
Yeah, so basically Lewis and Twitty want to be a team and then they disagree on something and then they split up and then Twitty actually sells Donna, Mama Stevens, 6 candy bars. Oh. And he turns and he gets so angry that he gets very dark and very desperate. And it's he loses his mind.
I literally did that and went through the entire yearbook, sold a ton of pizzas, and like I'll never forget like the next day, like some kids were talking in class like, Nick sold pizzas to my mom.
You're like, I did.
I crushed that.
That's hilarious.
And when the day came to like collect your prizes, it was kind of sad because everyone in my class, there might have been like, you know, half a dozen others that had numbers to draw off the board.
Do you even remember what the top prize was?
And the rest was me. I was just dink, 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 pulling all these numbers off the board. I got a lot of cash. A lot of it was cash prizes.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's kind of cool.
But here's the funny thing. We talked about my like grade school crush, Lauren Laziski.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. We did.
That was one of the first times where she was like, wow, you made a lot of money. And I'm such a sap. I'm such a sap and a kid.
You gave her the money, didn't you?
I gave her some money.
What did you do that
I'll never
for?
forget. We were standing waiting for like our parents to come pick us up, like, you know, the driveway where everyone comes in and grabs you. And I'll never forget. I'm like, you want some?
Aww.
And I'm like, I think I gave her like $60.
Nick.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
When was it?
Yeah.
Middle school?
No, I
man?
think I made close to $200 on that
That's
drive.
a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
I
I
crushed
crushed it.
grade?
No, this was
That's like a 5th grade, 4th grade.
This was like
thing,
6th
right?
grade. Yeah,
Okay,
I was like in
okay.
like 6th grade or something like that.
I got a few more years.
crushed that thing.
That's like
I got a
Scrooge
few more
McDuck
years.
when you're in 6th grade, man.
Yeah, but that never left me, man. I that was like one of those things where I thought I
Activated something
I like
inside
this.
you.
Yeah, like
All
just
right.
like I'm willing to grind it out. I'm willing to like do the hard work to I don't know, just I love it.
Do you
I
guys
love
remember the school box tops?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So I kind of did that. That's my story. I did one of the school box tops.
What's a box top?
Okay, so back in the day, there was like this magazine, and you had to collect like all these little box tops for stuff in the magazine, right? So like it was 1 million box tops for the red Corvette or whatever it was, right? But the only thing I really liked that had the box tops were this brand of mac and cheese. So for like a month straight, the only thing I ate was mac and cheese. And yeah, you
That's
go,
what my
huh.
kids eat pretty much.
Oh,
Okay.
but that's the only thing I ate, and it got so bad. I had the worst constipation ever.
No.
I had to go to the hospital
Oh my god.
and
Whoa.
get like Nurse Kravitz with
Okay,
her
yeah.
vice grip hands had to get this enema.
Oh wow.
And
You got an enema?
oh, dude, it was like this German Russian lady named Helga.
How old were you?
Oh my god, I was maybe 12, 13. It was
Oh,
it was during Even Stevens.
Oh my
But she didn't
gosh.
put her hand up there.
Wait,
Dude,
what
no,
was
no,
this?
no. But I remember how cold her hand was because she had to like,
Oh my
spread the
God.
cheeks with like
Mm-hmm.
like the fucking vice grip fingers. And she didn't lube it up or anything, man. No bacon grease, just fucking right up in there.
I'm sure it was lubed up.
No, dude. I don't think she used lube. I don't even think she used a glove to think about it.
So
Come
this
on.
was during Even Stevens?
Well, not on the set. We went
What?
to the
Right, no, no,
hospital.
no.
Yeah,
there,
I mean,
you
we're
know.
aware that it wasn't on
But
the
you were,
set.
I mean, listen, constipation is so bad with
Oh.
kids, man. It's
Oh, is it really?
painful.
Dude, I felt bad for this
So
toilet.
Painful.
Like this
what
toilet.
do you give a kid when they
and
have
honestly, like when he
constipation?
says this crazy, like gross shit, like I just respond as a mom now.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, yeah, man, that fucking.
No, my
That's
my
the-
dad had to give me an enema once. That's the only enema I've ever had was my dad gave one to me because
See?
I got so when I was
I'm not looking
when I was
forward to
working
this.
out, this is before the actor days at all. I'd work out twice a day, and my morning breakfast was always the same. It was I would have 4 egg whites mixed into oatmeal, banana, and raisin. That was like my power meal, and I would eat that every morning. But if I got full, I would eat it on my way to the gym. I would just leave it in my car, and I would eat it when I came back out. But the way I did, like now, I still eat this breakfast. It's an amazing power breakfast. If you guys want something easy, quick, get some egg whites,
Yeah.
cook them, mix them with oatmeal. It sounds gross. It's not. You don't even taste the egg whites, and it's great. You get some protein, some energy, and it's good for your heart. Anyway, I would leave it, but back then I would just dump the egg whites into the oatmeal raw. And let the hot oatmeal
Oh, you
kind of
did
Cook
like
the egg like a carbonara.
cook the egg.
Yeah, like a carbonara.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's not enough. And if you get a bad egg, you're not looking pretty. And so I would leave that in my car and finish it when I came out for my workout. So I got salmonella poisoning.
Oh boy.
And that was no joke. Like
Yeah, man.
I was throwing up and shitting like crazy. And my dad finally threw me in the bathtub and
Aw.
had to do an enema on me to try to clear out whatever was in my stomach.
Were you
Didn't-
squirming around?
No, dude.
Was it willing?
Honestly, at
Did
that
you
point,
assume the
I was
position?
in so much pain, and it was like
you just want to just clear your body
salmonella
out.
is
It becomes very much like,
nasty. I lost. That was actually like kind of the end of some of my intense workout years because I lost like 10 pounds.
Oh damn!
I lost 10 pounds in like a week and a half or something crazy. It was.
we were talking about box tops and how basically we were all sort of trying. I unfortunately never got to be in the Girl Scouts. That was one of those things where I didn't do the team sports, and I'm sad that. But I will be definitely doing that stuff with my kids. Like we're going to be doing if they want it, Girl Scouts, and we're going to do all of it. So I get to kind of live through them in a lot of ways.
I actually liked the Boy Scouts. It was cool.
You were in Boy Scouts?
Yeah, for a little time. I didn't get that whole sash full of.
I think it kind of peters out at a certain point.
Yeah, it's a little much. It's a little much, but as someone who loves the outdoors, someone who loves to backpack and hike and do all that stuff, that was definitely like some of the earliest memories I have of like going on hiking trips and just learning a little something about nature. It was cool. I love that stuff.
Super important. So
yeah, absolutely.
I thought that was very funny the way that they parodied this very common, I think, relatable experience that even some junior high kids have in some way, some version, and they made it this like blown out inspirational speaker, Tony Robbins type guy. And I mean, he's inspired him and Lewis and Twitty are this like team, and then it gets extremely competitive quickly. Now, I will say that the B storyline is that my character Ren wants her own phone line, and she has to be nice this entire time to Lewis. And so in the beginning, she like is very mean to him, and Wait, what?
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, my producer's telling me that I have to discuss what a phone line is for apparently the Gen Z folks that decided to listen to our podcast.
Well, I mean, in some way, it's quite fair because, I mean, now when you talk about a phone line, everything is a mobile line.
Yeah.
Right?
If you don't know what a phone line is,
no,
how are you
I
listening
mean, people
to this
know what a
podcast?
phone line is, but what I'm saying is that back then, trying to get a phone in your room required you to have a wire run to your room, and you had to have a little jack to plug your phone into, and
they had to like come back out just to add a phone line.
Oh, I had a little goofy phone back when I was around that age.
Oh, really?
In my room, I thought I was hot shit.
Yeah.
Just like, and even the thing that Lewis wanted in the episode, a little razors or a little scooter. Those things were like the apple of your eye.
Very much. Razors and the sneakers that had the wheels on them, which are still really great. I would probably eat shit on them. But so in the character Ren has like this like see-through vinyl blue phone, and I felt like it was just such a throwback to that time. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then he also has a see-through orange phone. And I was just like, this is so funny. Some of the things that my butterfly hair clips, my outfits, the chokers he was mentioning, Nick was saying, I'm like always in chokers.
Definitely had a choker in almost every episode we've seen.
I just think
so
it was
far.
that big of a thing that the kids were doing, that the girls were all.
I mean, I don't know if it was that big or not. I can't recall, but you definitely made that. They definitely made that one of your signature things. Yeah.
Interesting. Never knew that.
And those are coming back, I believe. I believe the chokers are coming back.
Mm-hmm. I had to buy one the other day.
Oh, really?
So that I could, not think that I was too old. I was like, fuck this. But no, I went to like
just to really relive those moments.
I need different shirts, for different content. And so I went to Urban Outfitters last night, and I walk in there and I'm like, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah.
I literally looked around. I was like, I've literally worn everything here on the set of Even Stevens. I'm like, I don't need to do this again. It's not worth it. It was cheap then. It's cheap now. And now they're just trying to like make it really expensive because it's like nostalgic. And I'm like, fuck that.
I wonder if people out there have any like nostalgia just about phones, if you think about it.
I think so.
Because
dude, they were selling disposable, like, whatever you call it, like
cameras.
the cameras, right? how much were disposable cameras? One disposable camera.
Oh God.
The green one, whatever it was, right?
$20 back in the day?
No,
maybe?
it wasn't 20.
How much
It was
was
like
it?
it was like a pack of 3 was like 20, but
Pack
like
of 3, yeah.
but like one of them I think was like $8 from what I remember, because my mom, I don't know if you remember this around set, she was always taking pictures.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
God, she would make these like calendars
Do you
every
still have-
year.
Do you still have any?
My mom would take these pictures and somehow she would like spend, I think my mom's favorite hobby was going to Xerox in Marina Del Rey where we lived. And she would go to the Xerox right by Tokyo Delves. And she would go to the Xerox and she would make these calendars for like Sean and David and Gary Marsh and whatever. And it was like her love language was this like weird, I just, anyway, she still has all these like weird calendars from year to year on the set of Even Stevens. I've got to give you some, guys. We're gonna bring one from,
I gotta
this
see
set.
it. That is so sweet.
It's super random. A lot of them are just like still shots too from like what we took as like family and whatever. But yeah, I remember she just always had those. They were $7, $8. I went to the store yesterday. They were like $24 each.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can hardly get film anywhere.
They sell the film
Yeah.
separately, and
Well,
it's just weird.
so the phone thing is interesting because one of the things that is so common now is people don't even talk on the phone.
Yeah.
Everyone is all communication
Text.
is texting. And you know, with in this episode when Ren wants her own phone, it's kind of like that was one of the like most important things I remember as being a kid, is especially in like those grade school or high school days, is when you had a phone in your room where you could talk to people in private. And I would be on the phone for hours having conversations with people. And it was just such a different way to connect, so much more sentimental. Now it's like no one has your undivided attention ever. It's like
We feel very uncomfortable.
You're always texting while you're doing other things. They don't really, you don't have full conversations. They don't have your full attention.
Unless it's a podcast like this. That's what I find so interesting about the podcast space, is that people will be doing something like driving, working out, something physical, most likely, where they're able to like kind of listen to us, talk to them, like we're their friends in their personal, our conversation is brought to them in real time. And so while they can't engage, which I guess is part of,
yeah, I mean, it's not the same thing. I mean, I understand your point,
but it kind of simulates that. It kind of cosplays as the conversation that you would have otherwise had on the phone with somebody.
Have you guys seen the new phones they have now? Now they're literally rebooting the phones we had when we were kids. Like they rebooted the Razor, they rebooted the Sidekick.
Yeah, they did.
You know, everything's getting a reboot.
But that's the way it is. Look at the cars. I mean, every car is a remake of another car.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
It's just, I mean, I think, but it's one of those things that.
Was it always like that? Like when we were on Even Stevens, or when we were young, were things getting
Younger.
Yeah, right.
Younger.
We'll go with that. I remember there was like a Firebird that whoever made it.
This has been happening forever.
Right?
It's
Like,
always
it's a cyclical thing.
It's always been happening.
It
Yeah,
does
I mean,
seem like it's happening more now, though.
Yeah.
well,
For sure.
it's
Than before.
like there's definitely maybe a lack of innovation now in some spaces. But then again, if you think about what's happening with technology and media and digital content, there's
AI,
major innovation going on. So it's like anything else. You find something that works and you keep redoing that, because there is, just like with this podcast, there's nostalgia attached to it. People love Mustangs. Mustangs have a following. And so you just keep remaking that. And if you change it too much, you lose your audience.
Well,
right?
I don't know. Fast and the Furious just went to the frickin' moon. I mean, where can they go with that now?
They went to the moon?
Yeah, they went out to
They
space.
stole
Yeah.
that shit from us. No.
Yeah, they
That's
did.
hilarious.
And they went to the moon.
Wait, they
are
went to
you
the moon? How
serious,
did
dude?
they
Yeah, I
launched a
didn't-
They
car?
went to the moon?
or in space. I didn't see that movie, but yeah, that was a big thing.
Well, you
where-
didn't see it.
I didn't see. Everybody's talking. Oh yeah,
Okay,
the
so
Fast
this-
and the
this
Furious.
might
that
be-
did
to
happen,
space.
though?
This might
That
be
did-
fake. This might
no,
be
that
fake
went,
news.
That went to that did
Okay,
happen.
okay, cool.
I know for sure that happened.
That's
yeah.
crazy. I think they jump sharked.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
just,
they've officially jumped
it's
sharked.
just one of those things. Where can we go with it now?
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it die.
But I think it's true. I think everyone has become so uncomfortable with real conversations and don't know what to do if they have to like actually talk to you on the phone. It's just easier to text. And anyway, so it's
slows the pace down.
yeah.
for sure.
So it's because we definitely had cell phones when we shot this.
Yeah.
There's definitely cell phones.
Oh
going
yeah,
on.
I remember. I had a little gray flip phone, and I remember the chime that it made when I got dramatic texts. And
I probably had a Razor at the time.
Razor, yeah.
Yeah, you were cool. You were more adult. Too.
No,
I
like
had a razor.
A slim Razor.
I had a
remember
razor eventually.
playing Snake on the damn thing, always draining my parents' battery. They
Oh,
never had a battery on their phone.
Did you have a cell phone when you were on set? Or?
No. I always just jacked my parents. Would always drain down their battery just playing Snake.
That's
like
so
a
funny.
madman.
And they would get mad at you.
Oh, always.
I get mad at my kids for draining my
It's
battery.
funny because we definitely didn't have camera phones. They weren't as prevalent then as they are now because
the functionality of it was
I never took like there's
the idea of taking a picture of something with your phone versus a camera did not make any sense.
Yeah,
it was like your phone was used to speak to people.
Yeah, well, like on set though, I wasn't snapping photos of us on set. The one thing I did have was a camcorder.
Okay.
Like some little Sony camcorder.
Wait, where did all that footage go?
I have that.
Dude, you have to like.
I know. I wanted to pull it out
You
for us the
definitely-
other day, but
definitely
I
need
didn't
to.
get to it. But I literally have these little tiny cassettes.
Dude.
Especially like the last day. I filmed a lot on
Really?
for our last day on set.
Dude, I need to
yeah.
see that. Even if I'm not in it, I don't even care. I just need to see that.
It's like, and honestly, only this was
Just to
probably
be clear,
allowed.
I don't want to see it just to see me.
I get really cringed out by myself when I was younger. When I see myself, I'm like, oh God, no. Like I'm okay seeing myself in like the professional capacity, but there's just something very triggering when I see myself just behind.
Now
closed
it's
doors.
been so long. I look back, I'm like, oh man, look at that young, good-looking guy.
I want to try to see. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and honestly, now
See
it
it
only
that
makes
way.
sense because you're taking pictures on a Disney set with an actual camera that can't get hacked. I mean, could you imagine like a set mom going around at one of the latest Marvel movies taking pictures of the cast and crew and that get hacked or something?
Well, that's definitely a thing in general, though.
It's just we never had to deal with something like that back.
A
in the
lot
day,
of
really.
sets you have to protect. They don't want you taking pictures and sharing all of that. You have to be careful about that stuff. And I think certain sets they do have lockdown, in the sense of like no phones allowed on set. That was never the case for any of us, but I have to say though, our Donnie's appearance in this episode was one of my favorites.
Did we talk about the steamy already at the beginning?
Well, no, we didn't really go into it though, but
and I was breaking. I was breaking the
this
whole
very
time.
risky business moment with Donnie. You see his.
They even have like sexy music.
You see
Did
his
you know that?
his self care. I did not know
Yeah,
that.
it kind of has like sexy music.
He's
it.
doing his daily self care, which was
groundbreaking
way,
for men
way
back,
more
back in
intense
the early
than-
2000s.
He was very Metro.
Yes,
Yeah.
Metro.
He was very Metro at the time.
Metro.
Yeah, Metro was a thing.
That
for a minute.
that was.
But what was funny is that for the most part, I was always pretty. I played down. I was never big. This is the one moment where I see a little bit,
crazy glasses,
a little big come out, and I'm like, I like this. It was fun, and I don't recall this at all.
I do. I remember the steam.
It's like how amazing I think that really shows, the difference in time and culture. How that was considered a metrosexual back in the day. Just
like somebody taking a shower.
Basic skincare routine. Just, oh, wow, so new age.
That's
Well, I mean,
fair.
I definitely don't think that I represented the metrosexual, but it's more of like a comedic.
Okay, wait,
know-
no, be real though. I feel like with Donnie, they definitely he had feminized like qualities about him. Like he took very good care of himself.
It's
for
called
a regular
vanity.
guy.
Yeah.
It's called vanity.
So he was
there was vanity, but
Okay.
but I'm saying like the metrosexual was Donnie was still kind of like this very masculine unpolished character. Metrosexual is very polished, very like high maintenance. That's not what this was. So, but it's more of like a little tiny bit, a little dash.
Where'd
of
you
that.
get your nails done? They look great, by the way.
Oh yeah, thank you. It's called concrete under the nails, bro. That's what it's called.
You actually have very nice nail beds.
Very nice.
Nail beds? What are
Yeah.
nail beds?
That means the shape of your nails are very like you could photograph them and have it be like it's like a good.
Oh, well, thank you.
You could be a hand model.
A hand
Well,
model.
not
yeah.
with all these cuts on my hands
strike
right
a
now.
pose, boo-boo.
I'm someone who likes to do everything, and so I don't ever do it right. I like to just whether it be painting or any kind of construction thing, I wear the clothes I shouldn't wear, and I never wear the the protective wear you should as well.
Your dog is getting very comfortable. He's been sitting on me several times now. And
okay.
I like it. I wish I could scratch him.
Yeah.
So deep chocolate. The cool part about this, I do think, was the quote unquote stunt that we had towards the end of this episode. I distinctly remember one thing about this episode, guys. When I was watching it, I remembered slipping on the chocolate with my weird little spandexy sandals that I had. I had these black spandexy sandals, and I had doubles for everything because of all the things that would have to get dirty and worn by, sometimes stunt people. And so I'd have doubles and even triples of things sometimes. And this was one of those outfits that I remember they were like, well, we don't have a huge budget for triples of your outfit. So we're going to give you a very basic, cheaper, outfit that we won't want to reuse during the season. Because actually, I don't know if people know this, but we would have seasonally, we would have closets for each of our characters.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about buying our clothes, but I don't think we talked about what it means to be a character with a closet.
Yeah.
So your wardrobe person at the beginning of every season shops for you based on the way your body grew, and just like the way the age of the character and just what I think isn't seasonal or like what's trending. And so Mimi would go for all of us, and she would get him Hawaiian shirts of different colors. And
where would she shop? Do you know?
Honestly, that's a really great question. Where she got all those kids shaped
It had
Hawaiian
to be
shirts for Lewis.
just a bunch of old vintage shops, like
Maybe.
Iguana and just stuff around town like that.
I think it helped
you know?
that we were in like a beach community. Like we were in Marina del Rey by the Venice Beach, and like
Very
that must have
trendy.
helped.
Well, I think this is more something you guys experienced because there was not a whole lot of growth spurt going on for me. I didn't go through the changes.
So you
that
didn't
guys
have a
went through.
changing.
No.
Okay, they were like, oh, we picked up some new.
Donnie
They
wore
they don't call them wife beaters anymore. They call them wife pleasers.
Are they?
Oh,
Is that a new thing?
Yes.
Really?
So white tee things.
Donnie wore the same clothes for 3 seasons. I'm pretty sure.
Oh no! Oh my gosh, how funny. Well, they were always switching it up, even though the pieces were not stellar pieces. But I had a lot of different closet items.
I wonder what they did for me, because maybe they were expecting I would grow like this when instead I grew like that.
Aww.
You know? So that
I
has
think you
to
grew
be
that much though within the what was it, year and a half?
Oh, I definitely
2 years?
plunked on a couple pounds there for sure.
Oh,
but
good.
you know,
That's good.
No.
Fat shame, little Steven.
Oh no, it's
I love little Steven.
no, little Steven. You can lose some weight.
I think you said like the one thing you're trying to do is gain some weight now.
Yeah, if anything, I'm trying to gain a little bit of weight now, but
Yeah.
healthily. Not
When did you lose?
not on McDonald's and Burger King. You know.
When did you lose weight?
Honestly, I lost the weight I think during Kicking and Screaming during like their kind of summer camp, because I was kind of learning to be a soccer player. So we're doing 3 weeks of suicides with Dan Metcalf. He was the soccer coach for Team USA. So he whipped our ass into shape for sure.
Wow.
Did you actually have to go through like some kind of summer camp?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
We had to do like a whole 3 weeks of training with. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man, that was intense.
That's fun.
Yeah, dude, really intense stuff. So.
Do you like soccer?
I like watching it. Playing it for at 32 now. Definitely can't as move as
The
quick.
knees.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, can't move as quick as I used to for sure. But yeah,
100%.
back when I was younger, it was great.
Yeah,
You know?
that's cool.
How old were you when you did that?
Oh god, it was maybe 14, 15,
Mm-hmm.
14, 15 to Kicking and Screaming. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
old was the character?
Oh, he was supposed to be 11. Supposed to be 11 or 10.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you still had a very young look.
Yeah, it still is.
Then,
Yeah, 15
okay.
to play 11. I mean, I thought it would help me out, when I was older in life, and then I lost my hair when I was 17, and I kind of got the short end of the stick.
You lost your hair at 17?
Oh, dude, yeah, I was like
Wow.
starting to go bald when I was about 17.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, I started losing my hair on Even Stevens. It started.
Oh,
it started.
we're-
It started to go thin.
Okay.
And God, I keep forgetting. Give me who is?
Karen, Robin, Troy.
Yeah, Karen.
Are we
and-
talking about them?
Yeah. It was mostly Karen.
They had these fabrics.
Oh god, what
that
did
they
Karen
were-
say?
She was not very kind about it, actually. She was not.
What?
Karen was not very kind about anything with your hair.
The hair loss?
No.
Yeah. No, well, she was
You
the
were
first.
teased, and I thought that
she was the
was
first
messed up.
one that introduced me to this thing called.
But she also tried to help, I'm sure.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. You can't help much in that game. You know, it was I forget what it was called, but it was called like Million Man or something like that. It was like this little fiber, like
I remember
it's
exactly.
like this
They
fiber.
still have
It's like this
them.
fiber lint shit, and you like like little spritz onto the balding spots or the thinning spots
Yeah.
to make it look. But at least it was like a long gradual thinning over years. But it's funny because I recall when it first started to happen. And I wonder how much of it was, a result of obviously genetics, and then the other one being like my own action. But there was this little moment in time when actors started combing their hair forward.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I was always the slick it back guy. Always. That's just how I comb my hair. And then my agent at the time had like a couple of guys who were booking a lot and doing a lot of shows. And they were like, you're Midwestern, all-American types.
Yeah,
And their hair was like, boop, just like
Yep.
thrown forward. And she's like, you should really change your hair. You need to comb it forward now and take it apart. And I'm like, okay. And so I go into some hairstylist dude, and he like cuts my hair and like slicks it forward and puts all this shit in my hair. And he's like, now you got to keep doing this to train it forward because you've been combing it back for so long.
Oh, wow.
My head got so sore because your hair, the follicles start to grow in a certain direction.
Sure, yeah.
And then now you're changing the direction of the hair, and literally it was like clumps coming out
shit,
of
really?
my head. Oh yeah, that was like the beginning of it. I was like, "What the hell?"
All because of that
damn.
hairstyle.
I think it's because you're shocking the follicle.
Oh my
you shock
God.
the follicle, and so that was it. And so
So you almost like aggravated it.
Exactly. I
Okay.
abandoned that, but it was like.
Yeah.
It had already started this. So I wonder how much longer it would have lasted.
And they didn't.
Right.
Did they? They didn't really have like all this. They didn't have like Rogaine and stuff back then.
Oh, they
Did
did.
they have
but
Rogaine?
It was
stuff?
new actually
no,
back then.
no,
wasn't
no,
it?
no, 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 no.
Because
It wasn't-
just
it wasn't
recently
new.
they started having like the hair
No,
transplants.
Propecia came out a little bit
Yeah,
later.
Propecia, yeah.
But I've never been a fan of any of that stuff. I mean, it does work for some people, I guess, but in general, it's
It
not.
gets you hooked on it too.
It's not doing much. I just
Yeah.
don't. I don't like the idea of putting
Got that
chemicals.
Rogaine.
I'm not going to put a chemical in my body or on my head to try to maintain some hair. It's just guys go through a lot of crazy shit to keep their hair. And
Do you still have that
some pull it
wig?
off, but some
From
don't.
that blonde wig you were wearing? Do you still have it by
I would
chance?
not. No, I
No?
never kept much from the set. I'm trying to
I was
think
gonna
what I
say
ended
we
up
got a
keeping.
couple needy people that might need it here.
You want to
Aw.
wear a wig?
Wait, so you
Hey,
didn't- so you at
I'll go. I'll go
17
buy you a wig right
So
now.
we told you how you lost your hair. How did you lose your hair?
I don't. I think it's just bad genetics.
At 17 though, that is quite young.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I don't think there was any.
No
I
underlying genetic
No, I
like,
didn't-
thing with you.
Didn't pull a Michael
about
Jackson. Didn't set it on fire. Nothing like that.
Okay.
No, I don't think anything too
Because
crazy.
I remember
Just
it being
good
at
old-fashioned
14,
male
15,
pattern
it was like
baldness.
long, and it was like you had it long for a
Oh
long
yeah, I had
time.
long hair. It was down to my shoulders for like
my
the longest time.
gosh.
And allegedly, they say it comes from the mother's side, but yeah,
Really?
my mom,
Yeah. No. It doesn't come from your mother's side. It comes from your mother's side, but the men in your mother's side.
yeah, but Italian dude. He was an Italian dude, had full
He's
head of hair.
Italian, and he
Italian,
lost his
yeah.
hair. My brother
Yeah,
lost
yeah.
his hair, and he's Italian.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
it.
which is really interesting.
Just being
But my
Italian.
dad, who was really truly the Italian one in this, he had a gorgeous head of hair his whole life.
Yeah.
Gorgeous head of hair, my dad.
Oh.
And then it was the German side. So it was my mom's father, bald guy. So it was the mother's side that won out in the end.
Yeah.
Deep chocolate. I just remember the stunt at the end kind of slipping and pretty much almost falling on like this like massive amount of chocolate that they had to make sure that they always overdid it because with a children's show, visually you had to really give it to them. And our show was also very like not satirical, but it was very like big, and it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger too at times.
Yeah.
Certain episodes, I wonder if they sat down when they were writing the episodes and they were like, this has got to really feel big. Or if Disney came back and was like, look, Lizzie's doing this. We need to, and we want our ratings to be beating Nickelodeon's. We just need a big episode. I wonder if they ever got the edict from Disney to like really go bigger and bigger. But I mean, generally we towed the line where some aspects of episodes were bigger and the stunts tended to be pretty big. Was this the episode? Okay, so there was one episode where he did have a scooter and he didn't clip his, Shia did not clip the helmet. And I don't know if he ended up in the scooter at the end, but.
He ate it?
So if this is the episode, we actually had to film for Disney.
It was Close Encounters of the Beans Kind. And it was the one with the bike.
Okay, so that was a different one.
Yeah, that was.
And you were the one that you had to reshoot it?
No,
or was him?
no, just him because
Okay.
they did like a close up because they got most of the stuff with the two shot with us in the bike.
Yeah.
With me in the basket.
Oh wow, you really remember this. So S&P is called Standards and Practices at any network, and they are truly important because they catch things like, that's at least visually a danger to children, and so we can't have that. That's a liability for Disney. And so they'll call it and they'll be like, you need to reshoot this.
Mm-hmm. You
It's
get
like, okay, well, where were you when it was actually happening on set? I think that's more important too. But yeah, I get it visually. I guess that's important too.
Well, that was fun.
It's always fun.
It's always fun.
I'm gonna go ride my bike without a helmet.
What did I do this time?
Oh, nothing.
Actually, wasn't Donnie responsible for the chocolate melting?
Okay, you did do that.
His steam bath.
He said I could boil a lobster in here.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He was boiling his lobster, that's for sure.
And then, he melted the chocolate. So, and I did love that at the end. It was like Tom, aka Dad, Papa Stevens was like, "You're not going to sue my kid."
Yeah. The lawyer came out at him.
It was very
He had
cute.
to throw down the law on this sleaze ball.
I loved seeing
child
Tom
labor worker.
activate, like where his character started to not just be funny, wacky dad.
Yeah, it was
and then
protective. Protective dad. I love that.
He has those moments throughout our series, and love him.
Not a lot of Donna in this one.
Yeah, no.
No, this was definitely the dad focus. Well, guys, I think that's it, right?
Sure.
We're good. We had a good time here. Hope you enjoyed this.
Come back to us. There will be.
Oh my God, there'll be so much more random stuff.
And even more Stevens.
Like, follow, and subscribe. See you guys soon.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for watching this episode of the Even More Stevens podcast. For clips from our pod, go ahead and check out the Podco YouTube channel. Links in the description.